We were too young. My first wife, you know what? I wrote a song just recently, and it's on a new album. It's called Right for the Time.
The bright lights of country music hide a world full of chaos, scandals, and unexpected secrets. Famous stars have been caught partying, cheating, and living recklessly while fans cheered. Have you ever wondered what goes on behind closed doors? Which stories would surprise you the most? Join us as we reveal the 20 filthiest backstage tales you've never heard. Number 20. Hank Williams. Hank Williams was a man whose talent could touch the hearts of millions. But backstage, his life was anything but smooth. He had a deep obsession with alcohol and pills, which only grew worse as he toured the country. After shows, it was common for Hank to disappear into hotel rooms, often sneaking women in despite being married. Bandmates and road crew learned to expect chaos wherever he went. Sometimes fights would break out with hotel staff, or even his own band when he became unpredictable or aggressive. Hank's relationships with women were notorious. He had a charm that drew people in, but it often turned dark. Young women were reportedly drawn to him, some too young to fully understand the risks, and rumors of multiple affairs during his marriage only added to the scandal surrounding him. His addictions made him reckless and sometimes dangerous. Some nights ended with him barely able to perform on stage, leaving the band scrambling to cover for him. Even in the midst of his talent and fame, Hank seemed to spiral endlessly. While audiences heard his soulful voice and heartfelt lyrics, the reality behind the curtains painted a very different picture. A man torn between genius and self-destruction. His charisma and talent often masked the chaos he created, but those who were there saw the toll his lifestyle took on everyone around him. If Hank could barely control himself on stage, what happened when another legend took the bottle even further and almost destroyed everything? Number 19. Waylon Jennings. Waylon Jennings was the embodiment of rebellion in country music. Known for his defiant attitude, he carried the same boldness into his private life, where substance and alcohol use were constant companions. Backstage at his concerts, Waylon reportedly kept cocaine and alcohol within easy reach, creating an environment where partying was unavoidable. After shows, his rooms often became the center of chaotic gatherings. Roadies and tour staff sometimes had to clean up after wild nights that included loud music, overturned furniture, and uninvited guests. Women were a frequent presence at these parties, adding a layer of scandal that became the stuff of legend. Waylon's charm made him irresistible, but it also led to dangerous encounters and reckless behavior. Stories circulated of nights filled with alcohol, substances, and women, sometimes spilling into public spaces. Though the media often only caught fragments, his partying sometimes escalated to risky behavior that could have ended in tragedy, but somehow he always managed to make it through. Despite the chaos, Waylon's talent never faltered. He could walk on stage and deliver performances with incredible energy and emotion. Yet backstage, his life seemed like a storm waiting to explode. Number 18. Merle Haggard. Merle Haggard had a life that could have been a crime drama. From a young age, he was no stranger to trouble with the law, and his time in jail seemed only to strengthen his rebellious image. On tour, Merle continued to flirt with danger, both legally and personally. Backstage, he had a reputation for being unpredictable. Stories circulated that he used his fame to manipulate women, sometimes targeting those much younger than him. This created tension not only among those close to him, but also among his touring crew, who were forced to manage his erratic behavior. Merle's illegal behavior was part of his legend, but the darker side involved his personal life. Affairs during his marriages were reportedly common, and he sometimes employed intimidation tactics to keep his secrets safe, while he captivated audiences with his raw, authentic music. The backstage world revealed a man willing to cross boundaries that most would avoid. His actions painted a picture of someone who lived by his own rules, often to the discomfort and frustration of those around him. And while Merle's jail stories are shocking, what about the man who was caught cheating repeatedly while on the biggest stages of America? Number 17. George Jones. George Jones was known as the Whiskey King for good reason. His love for alcohol was legendary, and it shaped both his personal and professional life. Backstage during tours, George often arrived intoxicated, creating tense situations for his band and staff. He was prone to erratic behavior, from missing cues on stage to arguing with crew members over minor issues. The chaos that followed him became almost expected on tour, as those who worked with him knew that anything could happen when alcohol was involved. Infidelity also marked George's backstage life. He reportedly sneaked women into hotel rooms during tours, and rumors of multiple affairs circulated widely. His relationships were complicated by his addiction, creating a cycle of betrayal and mistrust. Though George's voice could bring audiences to tears, the backstage reality revealed a man struggling with personal demons that often overshadowed his immense talent. Despite these challenges, George continued to perform and record, leaving behind some of the most iconic songs in the country music history. Number 16, Loretta Lynn. Loretta Lynn was celebrated as the coal miner's daughter, a symbol of strength, honesty, and resilience. On stage, she was wholesome, singing about life, love, and hardships in a way that touched millions. But backstage, the world was very different. Stories suggest that Loretta could be just as cunning and calculating behind the scenes as she was charming in the spotlight. While she projected an image of purity and integrity, those who worked closely with her knew that power and influence played a huge role in her relationships. During tours, rumors swirled about her secret flings with influential men in the music industry. These were not casual friendships, but relationships that some believed she used to secure her position in country music. The backstage environment became a place where she could manipulate situations to her advantage, subtly guiding the course of her career while maintaining the perfect public persona. Crew members occasionally noticed her interacting with managers and producers in ways that seemed more than professional, hinting at the blurred lines between personal gain and charm. Loretta's ability to navigate power struggles was unmatched. Other performers sometimes felt overshadowed or intimidated by her, knowing she had the ability to influence opportunities or create tension if she desired. Her backstage presence carried authority, and she was careful to ensure she remained untouchable in the public eye. The combination of her beauty, talent, and strategic mind made her a formidable figure both on and off stage. However, if you thought women only played safe, the next legend turned parties into chaos that almost got him banned from stages. Number 15, Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash was the man in black, a figure who exuded both strength and darkness. On stage, he commanded attention with his deep, unmistakable voice, but behind the curtain, chaos often followed. Johnny struggled with addiction for most of his adult life, a mix of amphetamines, alcohol, and prescription substances that made him unpredictable and difficult to work with. His tours were often a whirlwind of erratic behavior, with hotel rooms turning into hubs of late-night chaos. Women frequently entered these stories, with encounters ranging from fleeting flings to more prolonged relationships that sometimes overlapped with his marriages. Crew members recalled tense situations where Johnny's moods would shift rapidly, leading to arguments with band members or even security personnel. Fights could break out over minor misunderstandings, often fueled by substance misuse, creating a backstage atmosphere that was both tense and unpredictable. Despite these issues, Johnny's dedication to music never wavered. He could perform at his peak even while battling addiction, creating an almost dangerous contrast between his public composure and private recklessness. Yet his lifestyle took a toll on everyone around him. Roadies, band members, and close friends often bore the consequences of his choices, cleaning up messes, covering for missed shows, and handling fallout from his indiscretions. But if Johnny walked the line between brilliance and chaos, the next star-crossed lines no one wanted to talk about. Number 14, Tammy Wynette. Tammy Wynette, the first lady of country music, was known for her heartbreak songs and powerful voice, but backstage, her life was tangled in drama and deception. Her marriages, which were frequently in the public eye, mirrored the turbulence behind the scenes. Tours were not just about performances. They became a stage for emotional power plays and secret liaisons. Rumors circulated that Tammy engaged in affairs during tours, some involving band members or those closely connected to her music career. These backstage relationships often carried high stakes. Emotional manipulation was common as Tammy navigated the complex interplay between love, trust, and ambition. Some who worked with her whispered about the tension in her dressing rooms, where jealousy, anger, and secrecy could create a charged environment. Crew members had to stay alert, as personal dramas sometimes spilled over into professional spaces, affecting scheduling, performance energy, and even interactions with fans. Tammy's life was a mixture of vulnerability and cunning. While she sang about heartbreak and devotion, her personal choices painted a more complicated picture. Cheating and secret romances backstage showed a side of her that few outsiders ever glimpsed. She managed to maintain her public image, but those behind the curtains understood that her personal world was filled with deception and emotional maneuvering. And while Tammy's heartbreak was public, the next legend's obsession with partying left entire arenas in shock. Number 13, Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton is one of the most beloved figures in country music, known for her dazzling smile, glittering outfits, and heartfelt songs. But behind the curtain, even the Sunshine Girl had secrets. Crew members and industry insiders whispered about encounters that occurred backstage with powerful men, though most of these stories remained private for decades. While Dolly's charm and charisma were undeniable, she could also use them strategically, navigating backstage relationships to maintain influence and control over her career. Her backstage world sometimes involved risky associations. Parties after shows occasionally included high-profile guests, creating opportunities for encounters that could be scandalous if revealed. Dolly was careful, yet those who worked closely with her sometimes saw moments that hinted at more than casual interactions. Despite these whispers, she always maintained the perfect public persona, which added to the intrigue. Fans loved her for her generosity and openness, but the backstage stories reveal a more complex side, one that balanced personal advantage with charm and talent. Dolly's ability to maintain this dual life made her a fascinating figure. She could be approachable and friendly, while also strategically protecting her position in the industry. This mix of innocence and calculated influence contributed to the stories of hidden scandal that continue to capture the imagination of those who know about the backstage world. If Dolly's backstage whispers were shocking, what about the next star whose addictions almost destroyed his family and career? Number 12. Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers was known as a smooth, charming voice in this country music, but behind the scenes, his life was far less polished. Off-stage, Kenny developed a reputation for heavy gambling, a habit that reportedly consumed large portions of his tour earnings. Hotels and casinos became familiar territory for him, where nights of high-stakes bets were often paired with alcohol and the company of women. Crew members and fellow artists sometimes found themselves trying to contain his wild behavior or cover up situations that could easily become public scandals. While his public persona was calm, collected, and lovable, backstage Kenny was unpredictable. He would spend hours in private rooms, sometimes using tour funds recklessly, leaving financial strain for his team. These gambling sessions often led to tense moments among the tour staff, who worried about the consequences if his actions were ever exposed. The combination of money, women, and late-night indulgences fueled a series of private missteps that few outside his inner circle ever knew about. Kenny's personal life mirrored the chaos of his backstage world. Allegations of secret affairs circulated during tours, sometimes creating tension between him and other artists. Relationships were fleeting and often opportunistic, and the emotional fallout occasionally caused arguments among staff and collaborators. Despite these missteps, Kenny remained professional enough to perform, ensuring that his personal turmoil did not completely overshadow his stage presence. Number 11. Conway Twitty. Conway Twitty's charm extended far beyond his stage persona, and backstage it became a dangerous tool. Known for his romantic escapades, Conway reportedly engaged in countless affairs during tours, often while married. His reputation as a womanizer was well known among staff and fellow performers. Crew members sometimes found themselves in difficult situations, having to intervene or cover up his actions to prevent damaging publicity. The environment around him backstage was charged with tension and secrecy, as relationships often overlapped and loyalties were tested. Conway's fame gave him access to opportunities that many would not have dared to exploit. He was skilled at using his status to pursue women, sometimes manipulating situations in his favor. These pursuits were not always discreet, and whispers of inappropriate encounters were common. While he maintained his public image as a talented, successful artist, the backstage reality was filled with clandestine meetings, secrets, and occasional conflicts with those who disapproved of his behavior. The combination of serial cheating and backstage dominance created a complex atmosphere. Conway's charisma allowed him to charm his way through many situations, but it also left a trail of mistrust among colleagues. Band members, roadies, and managers often had to navigate his unpredictable moods and personal demands, balancing their roles while avoiding the fallout of his risky choices. But if Conway's habits disgusted fans, the next star took partying to a level that almost took his life. Number 10. Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks rose to fame with an energy and charisma that electrified audiences. Behind the scenes, however, his early tours were marked by excessive partying and risky behavior. Hotel rooms frequently became hubs of alcohol-fueled gatherings, often involving groupies and friends who joined him late into the night. These parties were rarely announced, but those who worked with him sometimes had to manage the chaos, keeping order while avoiding situations that could lead to scandal. Garth's behavior was not always predictable. Alcohol binges would occasionally affect his mood, making interactions with band members and staff tense or volatile. While he could still deliver electrifying performances on stage, the backstage atmosphere was charged with unpredictability as crew members navigated the consequences of his indulgences. The environment required constant vigilance to prevent incidents from escalating into more serious problems. Despite the partying, Garth maintained an intense dedication to his music. He balanced the wildness of his private life with a professional commitment to entertaining fans, ensuring that his performances were always polished. However, the contrast between his public image as a talented, wholesome superstar and his private behavior created a layer of intrigue and fascination for those who glimpsed his backstage world. And if Garth's excesses were wild, the next star's personal betrayals shocked even the most loyal fans. Number 9. Shania Twain. Shania Twain is often seen as a glittering icon of country and pop music, known for her charisma, glamour, and undeniable talent. Behind the stage, however, whispers of secretive and strategic relationships added another layer to her story. Rumors suggest that Shania occasionally pursued connections with managers and producers in ways that could advance her career, creating tension among tour staff and other performers. These backstage dynamics often involved subtle maneuvering, ensuring she maintained her rise in the competitive music world. Her backstage world was a careful balance of charm and calculation. While she maintained a friendly and approachable public image, insiders noticed moments that hinted at more strategic interactions with powerful figures. These maneuvers sometimes created jealousy or frustration among colleagues who were aware of the favoritism and influence she could wield. Her intelligence and ambition allowed her to navigate the complexities of touring life, balancing personal relationships with career strategy. Shania's approach to backstage politics demonstrated both her savvy and her ability to protect her image. She understood that even minor slips could have lasting consequences in a world where reputation was everything. The combination of talent, ambition, and calculated relationships allowed her to flourish while keeping potential scandals contained. Number 8. Brooks and Dunn. Brooks and Dunn were one of country music's most successful duos, known for their high-energy performances and charismatic stage presence. But backstage, the story was often very different. Tours that looked smooth to fans were filled with tension, drama, and occasional chaos. Conflicts between the two members sometimes flared over small disagreements, turning into arguments that involved the band, roadies, and even security personnel. The pressures of maintaining fame and performing night after night created a volatile atmosphere that was ripe for clashes. Beyond infighting, rumors of secret flings added another layer to their backstage stories. Each member reportedly engaged in affairs with women connected to the tour. These were not casual relationships. They often involved strategic flirtations, power dynamics, and emotional manipulation. Bandmates, roadies, and managers sometimes had to step in to prevent scandals from spilling into the public eye. The mixture of personal relationships, ambition, and tension between the duo created a complicated backstage environment that demanded constant navigation. Substance use added to the drama. Parties after shows were sometimes fueled by alcohol, which intensified arguments and made tensions more difficult to manage. Crew members often had to mediate or clean up after conflicts that erupted due to late-night indulgences, jealousy, or competing egos. Despite the chaos, Brooks and Dunn were able to maintain a professional front on stage, delivering the seamless performances fans adored, which contrasted sharply with the private turbulence behind the curtains. And if duo dramas were messy, the next star's scandals involved criminal activity that shocked the industry. Number 7. Faith Hill and Tim McGraw. Faith Hill and Tim McGraw were one of country music's most famous couples, adored by fans for their love songs and on-stage chemistry. But backstage, their world was far more complicated. Rumors circulated that before their marriage, Tim's wild lifestyle included heavy partying and secret affairs, some of which Faith reportedly discovered after they became a couple. These revelations created tension, not just between the two of them, but also among crew members who often witnessed awkward confrontations or subtle attempts at controlling situations. Backstage dynamics were complicated by jealousy and emotional manipulation. Faith, known for her professionalism and charm, reportedly navigated Tim's past while maintaining her public image. Yet the strain of secret affairs and unspoken rivalries sometimes led to heated arguments, uncomfortable silences, and a tense atmosphere during tours. Managers and roadies often had to manage these delicate situations carefully, ensuring that the couple's personal issues did not interfere with performances. Despite the tension, both Faith and Tim delivered outstanding performances every night. The duality of their lives, onstage love and backstage conflict, created a compelling contrast. Fans saw the glamour and romance, but backstage, secrets and mistrust shaped interactions with colleagues and staff. The complexity of their relationship highlights how fame, ambition, and personal history can influence the hidden world behind every performance. But if love wasn't safe, the next country singer's substance habits nearly ended more than just his career. Number 6. Toby Keith. Toby Keith is known for his larger-than-life personality and powerful performances. But behind the scenes, his reputation as a party animal was well-earned. During tours, he reportedly indulged in aggressive partying, which often included heavy drinking, late-night gatherings, and risky encounters with women. Crew members sometimes had to intervene to prevent situations from escalating, keeping order when events threatened to get out of control. Toby's backstage world was charged with tension and excitement. He often surrounded himself with friends, fans, and colleagues during these private parties, which sometimes turned chaotic. Arguments could erupt from disagreements, jealousy, or alcohol-fueled misunderstandings. Despite the chaos, he always managed to deliver stellar performances on stage, maintaining the energy and charisma that fans adored. The contrast between the controlled stage persona and wild backstage lifestyle created an aura of unpredictability that kept those around him alert. Sexual escapades were a common part of Toby's backstage story. Women were reportedly attracted to his fame and charm, and these encounters sometimes required crew members to discreetly manage situations to avoid public exposure. The combination of alcohol, charisma, and daring behavior made for a backstage world filled with tension, intrigue, and high-stakes decision-making. Number 5. Reba McEntire. Reba McEntire, often celebrated for her talent and professionalism, reportedly had a complex and competitive backstage life. She was known to have feuds with other female singers, some of which involved subtle manipulation to gain advantages in career opportunities or social positioning. These rivalries were often intense, fueled by ambition, jealousy, and the pressures of maintaining a successful career in country music. Backstage, Reba's relationships with colleagues could be complicated. While she maintained a friendly and professional public image, those close to her noticed moments of tension, secret alliances, and subtle sabotage aimed at maintaining her dominance. These interactions sometimes revolved around men, career opportunities, or status within the touring environment, creating an atmosphere where personal strategy was as important as musical talent. Emotional sabotage was reportedly a part of Reba's toolkit. By controlling the backstage environment and strategically interacting with peers, she ensured that her influence remained strong. Crew members occasionally witnessed the delicate balance of charm and calculation she maintained, recognizing that even minor errors could disrupt the careful orchestration she practiced nightly. Despite these backstage challenges, Reba's professionalism never faltered on stage. Her performances were polished, emotive, and captivating, keeping fans unaware of the hidden wars behind the curtains. The duality of her life, commanding the stage while navigating complex backstage politics, demonstrates her skill in managing both fame and private influence. But while Reba played the political game, the next star's scandals involved arrests that left fans stunned. Number 4. Blake Shelton. Blake Shelton's early career was marked by a reputation for being a true party king, someone who lived large both on and off the stage. Backstage during his tours, he reportedly indulged in multiple short-term flings, often with women who were drawn to his charm and fame. Alcohol was a constant companion, fueling both his confidence and reckless behavior. Crew members and fellow performers sometimes had to step in to prevent situations from escalating, as late-night parties often turned chaotic and unpredictable. Blake's womanizing reportedly caused tension, not just among his staff, but also among other artists. It was said that some relationships overlapped, creating jealousy and conflict that had to be carefully managed. These encounters were often fueled by the excitement of touring and the intensity of fame, leaving behind a trail of complicated emotions and awkward backstage dynamics. The allure of celebrity combined with alcohol and youth created situations that could have easily gone public if mismanaged. Despite the chaos, Blake's professional skills remained untouched. Fans saw a confident, talented performer, unaware of the wild nights behind the curtain. His charisma allowed him to navigate the tricky balance between indulgence and responsibility, keeping the performances seamless while privately managing the consequences of his actions. Roadies, managers, and band members often worked tirelessly to ensure that Blake's private escapades did not interfere with his career. Number 3. Carrie Underwood. Carrie Underwood, often seen as a pristine and polished star, reportedly had a backstage life filled with subtle drama and secretive romance. Rumors suggest that early in her career, she had fleeting flings with producers and industry insiders. These secret encounters sometimes created tension with other rising stars, who were frustrated by the advantages Carrie gained through these connections. The backstage world, often assumed to be friendly and supportive, was in reality a complicated web of jealousy, ambition, and private maneuvering. Carrie's charm and talent allowed her to maintain her public image as a wholesome performer, but behind the scenes, the dynamics were far more complex. Those close to her noted that she could be strategic in her relationships, ensuring that she stayed on top while subtly managing backstage competition. The combination of ambition and private indulgence gave her an edge in a cutthroat industry, but it also meant navigating uncomfortable situations and whispered rivalries. Despite these backstage dramas, Carrie delivered impeccable performances. Audiences saw the confident, talented star, unaware of the secret maneuvers and private tensions unfolding behind the scenes. Crew members often had to maintain discretion, ensuring that any potentially damaging incidents remained private. Carrie's backstage world reflects the delicate balance between ambition, fame, and personal desires, showing that even stars known for purity and professionalism sometimes face morally complicated realities. Number 2. Luke Bryan. Luke Bryan's early years in country music reportedly included some of the wildest backstage adventures ever witnessed on tour. Heavy drinking and occasional substance use were said to be part of his routine, often paired with encounters with fans that pushed boundaries. Roadies and managers were frequently tasked with cleaning up chaotic situations, from hotel room mishaps to confrontations that arose from his behavior. These backstage nights were a sharp contrast to the polished image he presented on stage. Luke's womanizing reportedly created tension not only with his staff, but sometimes with other artists on tour. Flirtations and casual encounters were common, and while they rarely became public scandals, they often left a trail of discomfort and conflict backstage. His charisma and energy allowed him to navigate these situations, while maintaining the performances that audiences loved, but the backstage reality was often far messier than fans could imagine. Substance use contributed to unpredictable moods and risky behavior. Crew members had to be alert, anticipating issues before they escalated, while balancing the need for discretion. Despite the chaos, Luke's dedication to his craft never faltered. On stage, he remained a talented and confident performer, giving audiences the experience they expected, while privately managing the consequences of his wild lifestyle. And while Luke survived his wild days, the final story shows a star whose backstage behavior left fans questioning everything they knew about country music. Number 1. Dolly Parton. Even Dolly Parton, the beloved sunshine girl of country music, reportedly has a backstage world that few ever glimpsed. Behind the glittering outfits and radiant smile, stories suggest that Dolly's rise involved careful maneuvering, strategic relationships, and hidden encounters that could have derailed her career if exposed. Some insiders whisper about backstage affairs or manipulation to maintain her position in a fiercely competitive industry. These were not reckless decisions, but calculated risks that required finesse and charm. Dolly's backstage environment reportedly included secretive interactions with influential figures, creating opportunities for career advancement while avoiding public scrutiny. While she maintained a persona of generosity and innocence on stage, behind the curtain, she had to navigate delicate social dynamics, hidden rivalries, and occasional personal missteps. The combination of talent, ambition, and discretion allowed her to flourish, but the potential for scandal always lingered. Despite these backstage secrets, Dolly's career remained untouchable. Her public persona overshadowed the complexity of her private decisions, allowing her to continue enchanting audiences while quietly managing the challenges that came with fame. The contrast between her public image and backstage life illustrates the duality that exists in the lives of all superstars, where every glamorous performance may mask intense personal and professional strategy.